I haven't heard that one yet. No pixels. Oh, okay. So we're pretty much Motorola, Samsung, and LG, the big ones. Yeah, so today, the first thing we're going to start off with, just to give us a heads up when they let us say we can get going. The big thing is, and I'm sure that's what a lot of you are here for, is setting up your medical ID on your phone. We're going to talk about, hopefully we can get that set up for you. It'll take a little bit. All right, so I'm going to get started. I want to welcome everyone to Get Set Up. We're seniors teaching seniors about technology. We have social hours and all kinds of programming. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the security and safety features on our smartphones. Hold on here. My name is Donna. I was in the IT industry for over 30 years. I enjoy helping people get over their fear of technology. And as usual, you can get a copy of this recording by emailing help@getsetup.io. And we do not get paid to promote any of these Android phones. This is strictly for our training. So today, first thing we're going to start with is how to complete and access the emergency medical ID information on your phones. This is going to take us a little while, just to warn you. This is going to take a little bit for people to get it. And as usual for these classes, in the email that you get at the end, I'm going to give you all the step-by-step in the email. So if you need to go back and double check things, you can do that. And we'll talk about how can you find a lost phone and how you can share your location with loved ones. And we already discussed who has what phone. We have quite an assortment here. Joe, I'm going to make you, you are co-host, okay. So first off, we're going to talk about putting emergency info on your locked screen. Now, let me show you what I have on my phone, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And if you don't want to set that up on your phone, you don't have to do that. But just to show you, here's my phone. And let me move it out a little bit from the side so that if our pictures are in the way, you may have to move them. Of course, my phone is locked, right? I've got it locked. But I put a note here to call contacts under emergency, okay? Let's say something happened to me and someone has my phone. What they're going to do is they're going to swipe up from the, they're going to swipe like this. So they don't know my PIN, right? They don't know my PIN. They just found my phone. So they're going to go under emergency right here. Boy, I need to have that stay a little longer. So if you click on emergency, now they're going to get a dialing pad where they can make phone calls. But the important thing is I put emergency information on my phone right here. So they can click on this, tap again to open, and they're going to see, you can put whatever medical information you want about yourself. If you're diabetic, whatever someone needs to know. Are you allergic to anything? And then over here on contacts, you can put in an emergency contact. I don't want to keep that screen up too long, but you can put a phone number of who they can call. Maybe it's your son, your daughter, whatever, your home number. So you can put in a contact. So they can do all this without having to know the PIN for your phone. So is this something people would like to learn how to set up on your phones? All right.
Yes.
All right. So let's look at these instructions. And it is I couldn't put it all on one slide. We've got 2 slides. So we've got Samsung and then we've got other people. It's kind of what the Android world is. So let's start with the people who do not have Samsung, and then we'll go to Samsung. Under settings, and the settings button is the gear, the little icon that looks like a gear. It'll have a blue around it, maybe gold, gray, or something like that. You click on your settings. Let me make sure people know. I'm going to get into my phone so you can see it. right here, settings, you'll see the gear. Open up your settings, go into settings. Okay, under security and location, security and location. And then you're going to go to screen lock, and then you're going to tap your settings. And then you're going to tap lock screen message, and then you're going to enter whatever information you want. Now, I just put in look under emergency, but you could have put in where originally where the dial pad is, you could have put call my son at and put a number or something like that. You could put it right there if you don't want to set up the other part. So the first part is going to be setting that screen message. Okay, and I'll show you real quick again on my phone, so you'll see what that looks like. I'm going to go under settings. I'm going to go to my security and location. And then right next to screen lock, you have a settings button. It's another little gear. The gears always mean settings. So if I tap on this settings button, and then you will see lock screen message. And I just put in call contacts under emergency. But you could put whatever you want. You could say call my son, whatever you want to put in here. All right, I guess I need to stop touching my phone because it's jumping all over the place. All right. That's the first part. That was the part where when I locked my phone and people come to my phone right here, call contacts under emergency. It says it right there. So they know right away.
But what if you don't have that lock screen message thing? It just has make pattern visible, automatic lock, and power button instantly locked.
All right. Yeah. This is a good point. Your phone may not have that setting. You might be able to just put in the emergency info. So the other part, the part where I had put in my medical information, go under system, about phone, and then emergency info. And you'll be able to put in whatever you want. You can put in contacts. You can list if you're a diabetic or whatever you have. And that will show up.
Not security? System?
No, not security. Go under system and about phone. Or if it just says about phone, just go to the about phone section. Look for emergency info. And LG people, under settings, you have a general tab, and then you have an SOS mode, they call it. You know, SOS is for help. And then you can have a send message to, you enter your information. So anyone has LG, take a look at the instructions at the bottom of the screen. That will be for the LGs.
I don't have that either.
Oh, what kind of phone do you have, Sue?
I just got it last year. It's a G Power Moto. G Moto. I mean, it may be listed under something else, but
it might be. You know what, Sue? Go to your search box under your settings and just type in emergency or medical. See what comes up. Maybe there's another. It's hard with our phones. We have so many, different types. I tried, I was trying to look up the bulk of what the people have. All right, so we're going to let the people who have Motorola's and LGs and let them kind of take a look at their phone. Let's go to the Samsung people. While the other people are trying to find these settings, let's start with Samsung. So Samsung, you're going to pick one of these because it really depends on the model of Samsung you have. So you have the step one is going to be where you have your lock screen and security. You're going under settings, under lock screen and security, and then you can put in your info, enter the owner info, and then you can save it. And then there's some Samsungs have what they call an emergency dialer. So you can add your ICE emergency contact. So this is your emergency contact. So you're going to add your ICE. I actually have an, for that Samsung Ice thing, I have a link to a website that shows a little bit more about that. I'm gonna bring that up. Has anyone had any success yet? Just to get an idea of what, of setting either just a message on the lock screen or actually setting up the emergency information?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Anyone close?
Yes, I have.
Okay. How far did you get?
I have a Samsung A11, so mine is a little outdated, but
So you found your ice.
it wasn't ice, but it did say.
Yeah, so for Galaxy people, I just want to show this real quick. And I'm going to send this to you in an email too. You're going to get a bunch of links to take a look at this because I realize it really depends on the model you have. But they talk about making someone an ICE contact. You're going to open your contacts. You're going to add a new contact. And then for the first name, you put in ICE. And then the last name, you're going to put the person's full name. So this way it looks like this. This is one way. This is going to be for the Galaxy. And then they suggest that you could put all the information you can. Any place where it lets you fill out information, you could put things like your home number, cell phone number, all your medications you need. They just say fill out as much as you can for that contact. And then in the emergency dialer, you're going to put that ICE person in there.
Oh, darn it.
So if you don't have an emergency dialer with Samsung, you still can do this by doing this type of thing where you're going to create an ICE contact, and then you'll still be able to put them on your screen. So let me go back to the slide again. This is what the emergency dialer is, where you go into contacts, you add that ICE person, fill in all the information that you want there, and then you're going to save it. And then when you press and hold down on the icon after you've saved it, it's a pop-up's going to come up and it's going to say add to emergency contact group, and that's where you add it. Because the idea with this, and I'm going to bring my phone up again, is if something happens and someone finds your phone, you say you know, God forbid you collapse, something happens. EMTs already know to click on this emergency button at the bottom of people's iPhones. They already know to come into this area. And if you have any information that you've put on your phone, then they're going to immediately dial. You know, you could even put something if you want to, you know, if something, you know, for medical or lost phone call, if you want to have them call someone.
I'm having trouble. I have Accutel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in settings and security, but I don't see anything at all that would refer to an emergency contact.
Okay, did you search for emergency, search in your settings? Like for instance, I'll bring my phone up again here again.
Donna, I'm not seeing on Samsung either. I think the only way I ever see it is when I enter my passcode in to activate my phone, and automatically I see emergency call there.
Oh,
That's
there you go. Yeah.
But that's
And
the
are you
only
able
way
to enter something there? Kathy, if you go under settings, go ahead,
Yeah.
Gina.
I would have to turn my phone off now to see, to put my password in and then to activate the emergency dialer. But that's the only way I can
Okay.
see the emergency dialer.
And like I said, some people are, you might not be able to do it right now, but you're going to get a lot of information from me about this, and you can work on it and see. I just want you to know what it looks like on the phones. And Kathy, if you go into your settings, look for a little search box at the top and type in emergency or.
Oh, yes, I see that. Thank you.
Yeah, just search and see, because our phones will tell us where these type of things are.
And this is Dee, I also got my emergency contact in. I was successful because I used contacts.
Good.
When I
Okay.
did through contacts. So thank you.
Okay. So that was on the Samsung.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So you got that. Good. All right. Yay.
Yay.
This is like the most complicated thing we've ever done for the Androids in the classes, but I think it's important. It's a good feature to have, on your phones.
That's
so
the only way
people-
I was able to add my emergencies too, was under my phone contacts, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
On
and that's the
first
thing.
screen, it doesn't say emergency.
Right. Now, when you lock your screen, what happens? Do you see your message or your
No,
under
I
the
don't
dialer?
Mm-mm. It doesn't show. It doesn't show anything.
Well, like when you swipe up from the lock screen in the emergency section, is there?
No.
Now, you literally have to turn your phone off.
Oh, do you? Okay. All right. So you have to shut it off.
Yeah, you have to turn it off. And then when you turn it back on and it
Then
says swipe to unlock, that's when you'll see your emergency call
Oh.
button.
Thank you, Gina. So yeah, the thing with the Samsungs, there's so many different models. That's why I say pick one, because it depends on the model you have, which one's going to work for you. Well, it sounds like some of you have got it here. I'm going to bring the screen back for the LG and Motorola people if you want to take another look at the
I
settings.
have a question.
Uh-huh.
I did find it after searching.
Oh, good.
And
Good.
it has a area where you can put in address, like I guess your home address. It's like your information.
Right.
How secure is it to put your name and address? I mean, because if medical people can do it, other people know how to do it, right?
Right.
So
Yeah. That's where you can just say, you don't have to give a lot of information. You could just say, call son at and just have a number. You don't have to fill in all
Okay.
the address and everything. Just,
Okay, thank you.
whatever you feel comfortable with. And like the Samsungs do, if it does show up as, these screens show up, you could put in things like I'm a diabetic, or you could use that opportunity maybe to put other information in. I don't know if it'll show up or not on the phone, but you can try it.
I'm using
Anyone else?
Motorola, but I don't see the option show on your slide.
Oh, you have a Motorola?
Yes.
And which one don't you see? The
I
lock
only-
screen?
When I go to settings,
Mhm.
I only see system, security, location. They're separate. Unlike
Oh,
yours, there's
system,
security
location, and security are separate.
Yeah, it's
Under
separate.
system, do you see about phone?
In the system,
Yeah, do you see about phone?
no. In the system, it show about language, gesture, time, and backup.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you have a little different. Another thing to do too, if you're feeling like your phone's not fitting in here, is to just go to Google and just type in whatever model you have. Like I have a Motorola G6, and then you could put in, a setting, emergency contact, something like that, and you can go in and see what information they have to how to set up emergency information. So you should be able to get it, whatever your model is, because it could be a little different. And if you need some more specific directions, you can always go to the web and
Okay.
look it
Okay.
up. And with anything with our phones, just start with the model, and then whatever you're trying to do, and you should find all kinds of step-by-step instructions too, most likely, on how to do it on your phone.
Donna?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm at the Samsung. I got the Samsung. I
Okay.
did find where it says contact information on the settings. Now, do I put the name and the telephone number, or can they be able to reach me by my phone being off? Can they reach the my contact list?
Yeah, they can't do your contact list. You could create the what kind of Samsung do you have?
Mine is an A11.
811. Okay. If anyone has set that up already on their phone, let us know.
I can put all the information just under contact information, and they should maybe use another phone or something to contact my son if I put his name and phone number.
Oh yeah. You could just have it where it just shows call my son at in a number, and they will either use your dialer, because we have these emergency dialers on our phone, right? When you're so anyone can dial a number from there, so they can dial from there, or they can use their own phone.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you can't get the full emergency dialer thing going, or like what I had, where I have my medical information, you can at least put a message on your lock screen. You can always just put that message on there of telling what people, who to call, or a number to call. You don't even have to say son or daughter. You could say an emergency call and just have a number. And then they're either going to call right from your phone, from the emergency dialer, or they're going to, use their own phone.
Donna?
Uh-huh.
I've got to that. I put in emergency contacts at the top of the, but now I don't know how to activate that search. Just swipe? Do I swipe?
Oh, you mean how to search in your settings?
Well, I next to the magnifying glass, I typed in emergency contact.
Right. Yeah.
And then an X came up in that spot. And I don't know how to activate the emergency contact so I can fill it in.
Let's see. So you just typed in emergency, right? See, right? Like, see on my phone, all this comes up when I just type in emergency. I've got all these things. So whatever comes up, for instance, I can just click on emergency contacts and hit
I
enter.
couldn't see that. I didn't see that in the list.
Oh, nothing came up on your list when you typed in emergency?
Yes, emergency came up, but not emergency contacts.
Oh, just click. If you only got one thing that came up, just tap on it and it should take you to the section.
Okay.
See where it takes you.
All right. Thank you.
Because that might be an area that, will be helpful. All right. I know everyone's heads down in their phone right now. I can tell because you guys are all so quiet. Any other questions? Again, you're going to get links to websites, especially the Samsung people, about setting up these emergency dialers that might give you some clues. I mean, once you see the step-by-step instructions, that might help you out. But it will give you an idea of what you can do on your phone. You want to show? If you want, I can show you again what I had set up on my phone. If you want to see that again,
I would like to see that again.
And then you get an idea of what we're talking about. So the first thing is going to be just a message on your locked screen. Okay, and that is sometimes under your security section when you're going to where your screen lock is. Like, for instance, let me go back in here for a second. To just be aware, when I go under settings, and I went under security, right next to screen lock, there's a little gear, be on the lookout for these setup gears. And that's where I'm able to do a lock screen message. And that's another thing to search on your phone. Lock screen. or lock screen message. Do a search in your settings to see if something like that comes up. Okay. So that's a real basic one. So on my phone, that lock screen message, all I have on here, so if someone comes to my phone, is call contacts under emergency. That's all it says. That could be the simplest thing to do on your phone. That might be the only thing your phone lets you do. It depends on your phone. Again, you might have to do a little extra searching on the web to see if maybe your phone has a secret setting somewhere that you don't know about, like the LGs have that SOS setting. So this is what I have from the basics here. Just call contacts under emergency. If someone swipes my phone, they're going to get the emergency dialer. And I still have my information here. It says call contacts under emergency. And then if they tap on emergency, boy, it doesn't goes to sleep quick. If I tap on emergency, now what comes up is an emergency information button up here. Now they could dial, if I had put a number on that previous page, they could dial that number here or use their own phone. Most likely they're just going to use their own phone.
I like
But,
that one better. That one works great for me. It's simple and quick. Thank you.
Yeah, you can just do that. Just say, call this number. And really, that's all. And the EMT or someone wants to know is, who do I call for this person, right? Who should I call? Because they can't, your phone's locked. They can't get into your phone. So this is the big thing is, who do they call if something happens? And that might be the simplest thing to do on your phone is just search for lock screen message or something like that. And then you're good. If your phone has other features, then I put in this emergency information button. So when I click on it, I have to tap twice to get in. Now I can put in medical information and then a person to call. And the way that was set up on my phone, real quick, I'm going to show you. I go into my settings. And then I'm going to go down to system. Yep. Sorry, I lifted my phone up. I'm going to go under system. And then I'm going to go to about phone. And then this is where I just information right here, just says emergency information. I come in here and I can add medical information, that type of thing, anything I want, and the emergency contacts. That's all it is. So look at about phone section or your system section of your phone to see if it's possibly in there. So just to give you ideas, and again, you're going to get a lot of information in the email. So it looks like some of you kind of got somewhere. Others, you're going to probably have to look at the notes at the end and maybe do some searching on the web to see if there's anything else on your phone, to see if your phone might have a special feature that you're not able to find too. So it might not hurt to look on the web and see if they have something special. Like I was surprised to learn about the LGs and their SOS mode because I have a Motorola, so I didn't know about the SOS mode. So, if you have a model that other people, if you have a real, maybe not so common model, you might pay to do a little search on the web just to see what they do.
This is G. I have a pacemaker, and I put it under medical information so that they would know what kind it is and the doctor who's in charge of it. So if you have something special like that going on, you could put it under medical information.
Right. Yeah. So you were able to get that set up?
Yes, I was, because of you. Thank you.
Yeah, this is very important. Yeah, diabetes. Like you said, you've got a pacemaker. They need to know this stuff. Or how about if you've got some metal in your body, right? Because what if they're about to do an MRI on you and you've got, you've had a major surgery done, you've had a lot of metal in your body. They need to know that kind of stuff. Just think about what would they need to know about me in an emergency. So anything you can think of, stuff like that. Yeah, that's a great D. That's a great example. Special medications you are on. What are you allergic to? If there's are you allergic to penicillin? All these things that they always ask you about. if you're unable to talk for yourself, think of what do they need to know about me, So if you have that medical section where you can go and list everything, that's a good thing to put in. So thank you, Dee. All right.
Donna,
So let's,
sorry for cutting you off, but okay, I put my son on my lock screen.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I'm a little concerned about elderly people when they lose their phone or whatever, and you know how if they're contacted, whether if the son or daughter lost their phone and they're contacted, you know how someone would say, well, this happened to your son, we need you to send money, we need to do this. Well, I'm just saying, hopefully your family would have secret codes or whatever to know what's going on.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, or if you just want to say, in emergency, call this number, then they don't know if you don't want to let them know who it is. I'll tell you, one day I was walking down the street and there was a phone just lying on the street. And I picked it up and I thought, well, how am I going to, I was kind of lucky in a way because they didn't have their phone locked. And I thought, okay, I'm going to look through their contacts. I looked through their contacts and I found Dad. So I called Dad and I said, hey, Dad, your son or daughter, their phone is on the ground and I have it. And I just told them, and then they came and they picked it up and everything was good. So, it helps to have some number if your phone is locked normally, they have no way of knowing who to call. So it could just be that you dropped your phone somewhere. It may not be a medical emergency, but just give them some number that they can call so you can get your phone back, because it could just be a neighbor. That turned out the person just lived 3 blocks from me, so Dad ended up calling his son and the son came and got the phone. So, yeah, so it's not just emergency. It's just if you happen to drop your phone or lose it. All right. So that it looks like some people had success. Some people probably need to do a little homework tonight. See if they can get things going.
Donna, something real quick I just saw in the Samsung. If you go into contacts and then you go to groups, under groups, it's emergency contacts automatically in there. You can just fill out everything.
Right.
It's really easy.
Okay. So that's the.
I'm sorry, was it under group? Go under group?
Go under contacts, and then under contacts, you'll see something that says groups.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that probably helped a lot of people, Gina. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
All right. So this is a great thing to have, is something, just for if you lose your phone, just drop it somewhere and get it back. Because most likely a neighbor's finding it. Hopefully. All right. Speaking of lost phones, how to find a lost phone. If you go under your security section again on your phone, and you can you look for Find My Device. You can turn it on. Samsung people, it's under Google, under security, Find My Device. Let me show you what this looks like. I'm going to go under my security section. And right here is Find My Device. You can turn it on. And what that does is when you have it activated on your phone will be able to be found through GPS. And let's say you just lost it in the sofa. You would go to the website for Find My Device. You can play a sound. So if it's in the sofa, you can find it. You can just get on the web and see where your phone ended up. If your phone gets stolen, don't go chasing after the bad guys. But what's going to happen is you're going to be able to follow your phone on the map. So you could call the cops if you want or whatever. One thing you can do is secure your device. You can lock it and sign out of your Google account, which is important because our Google account is where the credit card information is and where you do purchases, right? When you're purchasing on the, Google Play Store, that type of thing. So you can at least get signed out of that account so they don't start racking up any charges. And then if your phone is hopelessly lost, you think it's a goner, you can erase it. As long as it's still connected, you can erase it so that all your information will be off the device. And at that point, you won't be able to track it anymore. Once you erase it, it will be erased and not trackable anymore. So that's Find My Device.
Donna,
Mhm.
underneath my Samsung, I have it on Find My Mobile, but it also says on without remote unlock.
On without remote.
Unlock, yes. Don't know quite what that means. On without remote unlock.
Well, let's see. I'm just going to go Samsung on without remote unlock to see what that is. Unlock. Oh, okay. Let's see. Without your lock. Oh, how can you unlock it if you forgot the security pin? Okay, so unlock on without remote unlock. Okay, so that means it will be. I think it has to do with you unlocking your screen or not.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what they're talking about. How do you turn on? I guess I have to do Find My
Okay.
Device. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll put a little bit more in here about Find My Device.
okay, thank you.
All right, I'll put a link. I'll put this link in for the Samsung people about the Find My Device. You can read about it. So we had a lady that was in this class, one of the Android classes, and we had talked about Find My Device. And then she left and did a bunch of shopping for the rest of the afternoon. Came home and realized she lost her phone somewhere. And she remembered the class from the morning. And she went onto the website and she was able to figure out what store her phone was at because she had turned it on in the class. She turned on Find My Device. And she just called up the store and sure enough, they had her phone and she was able to go down and get it. So other uses for it. So if you're a person who tends to leave your things behind a lot, this is a good feature to have because you may have set it down somewhere, especially if you're having a busy day.
Donna,
If you turn on Find Your Device, that means you turn on the GPS.
Yes. Yeah,
I
the
see.
GPS.
I-
And most likely, if you use Google Maps or anything like that, you already have GPS on your phone. You already got it on your phone. It's already
I see.
running.
Okay.
I'm confused. I went to security
Mhm.
and then, wait. Oh, I clicked on Find My Device
Mhm.
and I thought I turned it on. It says on, like it went to on, but then it
Okay.
says Find My Device won't work. Location is off.
Oh, you might have your
So
location. Yeah, you might have to turn on.
turn my location on?
Go under your settings. You might have to do a search. You could search turn location on.
It says location off, so I thought I was, okay.
Okay,
And then, oh, okay, use location. Okay.
there you
Let's
go.
see if that
Okay,
did
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm sorry. And so that's okay to leave that on all the time then? Okay.
If you're already using, like I said, any mapping program, Google Maps or Apple Maps or anything like that, you're already using location and GPS to find your phone, to get places, to be able to navigate. I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to have it on if you don't want to.
So,
Well,
so
but it
if you-
helps. It'll help
It
you
helps
find
though
it.
if you lose your phone. If you leave it somewhere,
right,
you can find it
exactly.
quickly. Like I said, I have a friend of mine. Boy, she's just like a debris field. Everything is lost. The purse, the wallet, the keys, the sunglasses. It's like she needs this for every device. Some people are like that.
So if you have if you use Google Maps and GPS, you don't need to use the Find My Device option.
Oh no, you do have to you have to turn it on.
The Find My Device option. You have
Yeah,
to-
so you can find the phone. You have to have a way to. The phone's going to work. It's still going to have the GPS on, but you need to find it. You need to.
Okay.
You need to go out and ping it to see where it is on the map.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is handy, even for just simple, if you just misplaced it somewhere. It's a nice way to be able to figure out where the phone ended up. And then, of course, if you ever have it stolen or something, then you can, at least
I have a
if you
question, though.
have some control with that. Yeah.
If you have had it stolen and I have a pattern to get into my phone. I'm assuming that it's a possibility that somebody plays with that and can get in. Okay. So it's not, you still might have to go to the option of secure your device and
Yeah. Unless if you're in a town where you can call the cops real quick and they might go and get it for you. I've heard of people being able to do that. It just depends. I wouldn't go chasing after them.
Is there a better, is a pattern versus a whatever, what's the best way to put the security on your phone? A word, like a code? Thumbprint, fingerprint. I had the problem where I set it up when I purchased the phone, but I have eczema. So now that I try to do my fingerprint, it's not reading it.
Fingerprint probably is the most secure because we all have individual fingerprints. But the problem is if you fingers sweat or something, it's not the easiest thing to do.
Is there a way to redo your fingerprint?
Well, on some phones, the fingerprint has a backup. The backup option is the code. So if you have an issue,
but what if you want, now that my skin is cleared up, I could go back to using the fingerprint, which I feel like is more secure, but I don't know how to redo it.
Oh yeah, I would think it would let you walk through. You just select fingerprint and do it again.
Maybe I'll just search that.
There should be a way to reset to redo it.
I'll search that. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's the lost phone. Another thing to talk about is sharing your location. You know how people say, "Oh, I want to make sure you get home," right? Want to know when you get home. Well, the way to do it is through Google Maps. And I don't know if you can do this in Google Maps. You go into Maps, and we get my map started, and the Maps icon. Going to bring my phone up real quick here. Looks like this. It says Maps, and it's got the little. We all should have it on our phone. Although the Samsung. Do you have your own Maps program, or do you use Google Maps?
No, I use Google Maps.
Google Maps.
Google Maps.
I know Samsung has so many apps, and I'm thinking, well, do they have their own? So when you go to Google Maps, back to the slide for a second. I don't want to cover it up. So you can see open up apps. In your profile dot in the upper right-hand corner, you can turn on location settings. So what that means is when you open up Maps, you should have a little profile icon in the right-hand corner with your initials or maybe your picture if you've ever put your picture there. You can click on that and you can go to location sharing. And then from there, you can select, you click on share location, and then you can select one of the people that are your contacts, and then you can share out your location to them. And you can put it for an hour. You can put how long you want it, a couple hours, or until you turn it off. So you can make it, it's your own decision. Maybe it's something where, they just want to know that you made it home. Or maybe you're doing a little road trip on your own. Maybe you just give them access for a couple hours so they can see where you are, or you can decide what you want, but that's how you would share out your location to other people in the contacts of your phone. If they're not your contact, of course you can make them your contact, but you can copy the link to clipboard and you have to paste it and text it to them and email them. So you would just go to share location, go back in here, and you should see a little copy to clipboard. So you can just copy the link and then you can email or text them the location that you're in if they're not in your contacts. But most likely they're probably going to be in your contacts.
I don't have the three dots. I mean, it comes up as a map and it's got,
Oh, do you have the profile? It's a circle. It's a blue circle in the upper right-hand corner. You see just your initial when you open up
blue.
Maps?
Okay, so my
Yeah.
profile.
Yeah, your profile.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you click on that, and then you'll see the location sharing. So
Okay,
that's how
and
you would
then-
share your location if someone wants to, and they'll be able to follow you. They will open up Google Maps and they will be able to see your progress, watch where you're going.
Thanks, Donna. I needed that because I had something similar to that on apps. And I had to make sure I had turned it on because my sons would get upset and say, how are we supposed to know where you at and you got it turned off? But now I just did it. And thank you. Now they can always know.
Now they can, and you can set it for a certain amount of time or always just leave it on. It depends on the family. Some families want to know where you are every second. Some families are like, well, whatever. It just
Well,
depends.
now that it's taken good to know because I take Uber or Lyft and I have
Yes.
taken with some doozies of drivers.
Yes, that's a great, Carol, that's a great idea. Yes, you're about to get into an Uber, just let your, someone say, hey, I'm about to, especially if if you're going to be in there for a while, let them know, hey, I'm going into an Uber. You can follow me. Just make sure I make it out. I know what you mean. Some of those drivers can make you a little nervous.
Yes, they look like from a Stephen King movie.
Hopefully it's not the Cujo one.
Really?
Cujo's driving the car. 'Cause then you're really in trouble.
Oh,
Can I
my.
ask a quick question? If
Sure.
if you have Google, if you have under location, Google location sharing is off, does that mean that people that are tracking where you are in malls and places like that can't get your information from your cell phone?
Can they see your location?
Yeah, I don't want to be monitored by marketers and other people. So if I have Google location sharing is off, does that keep them from getting it? I got location history, location.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't know your location. Yeah.
Okay.
I know what some people do sometimes too is they just put their phone in airplane mode for a little
That's
bit.
another way of handling it. Okay.
Of course, you won't get calls coming in and stuff, but if you really want to shut it all down. Another thing is to show people your trip progress in Google Maps. Let's say you're on a trip and they're saying, hey, we want to see where you're headed next or something. You can go into Google Maps. When you start a navigation, you can select contacts here. It's kind of similar to sharing the location before, but I'm just going to start a quick navigation. Let's say I'm going to the airport. And I'm going to start my navigation. So let's say I'm tooling along. What I can do is I can swipe up from the bottom here. I'm actually, say I'm driving and I'm, going along. Swipe up from the bottom. And then I can share my trip progress.
Oh, that is cool. Oh,
so
good.
I click on, and it's the same thing at this point. Pick your contact, and then they can see where you're going. So this is great if you're doing a little tiny trip on your own. Maybe you're out and about, and they can see your progress. And you can do that in the middle while you're in the middle of your trip. You can just let someone see where your progress is. So those are two uses for Google Maps that are handy for that type of thing. Using two-factor authentication. This has become very popular. And it's, sometimes you have a choice of whether or not to use two-factor authentication, and sometimes they just do it. I'm seeing more and more websites seem to just be signing you up for this. Have people noticed that? It used to be they'd ask you about it, but now it's just become pretty standard. And what this is, when they ask you about this, is before you can log on to Amazon or your financial institutions, your banks or whatever, if they ask if you want to turn on two-factor authentication, what happens is when you go to log on to these websites, they're going to send a code to your phone. It could be also a phone call, either call or text. They usually give you a choice. And they give you a code. And you have to enter that code in to get logged into the site. That's all it is. And it is a nice extra step, because the nice thing about this is if your password ever got compromised, there's some break-in at the website, the bank or wherever, whoever's website it is. If someone tries to log onto your account, you're going to get the code, right? You've signed up your cell phone. So you're all of a sudden out of the blue, you're going to get a code and you're going to think, well, wait a minute. I'm not trying to sign on to that website right now. So that will tell you to instantly go into your account and change your password if that ever happens. So that's the important thing about this, they call it two-factor authentication. And if you're ever asked, especially if it's a financial institution, something where you want to protect your identity, where if someone got your password, it would really be detrimental to you. If they ever ask if you want to turn this on, turn it on. And that's what will happen. You'll just get the code and you'll just input the code into the little box that they'll show you. And then at that point, you'll be allowed to log in. Does anybody use that right now for sites that you
Yes.
get on? Yeah, it's getting very common. And I think
I
that,
don't use it. So there's not one setting that you can go into on the phone that makes two-step authentication happen. It's with each app that you're using, like the bank, right?
the banks and the different people, yeah, you can do it for your Google logon. You can go into your phone and set that up under your Google settings
Okay.
if you want to for Google. I know my Amazon account does it. eBay, a lot of them do it now, but that's what that is. So don't freak out if they say, do you want to set this up? You do.
Okay.
Especially if it's information that, it might be detrimental if it got broken into, and you want to really be safe. It's a good thing to set up. It does add that extra step. If you're bothered by that, then don't set it up. But you do have that extra set where you have to go get the code out of your email, or they'll text you. Usually I know for me, they usually just text me the code, and then you'll have to input the code to get on. All right. Well, we're at the end of this class. Time just flies. You'll be getting more information in the email. There's a few other steps that I had put in here, and you'll get those in the email. The detailed steps you can go through, especially setting up the medical information. I know not all of you were able to complete that because takes a little while to get it set up. Other classes we have using your Android phone is the basic Android class we have. We have Android smartphone tips and tricks. There's the number 1, and there's a number 2 now. And we have fun things to do on your smartphone. We talk about fun apps that you might want to think about having fun with on your smartphone. You'll get an email today with a feedback form. You can go ahead and fill out the feedback. If you have any new class ideas that you have, you can go ahead and put them there. And we have our email, help@getsetup.io, is multi-purpose, not only just for getting a recording of the session that you're in, but you can, if you're interested in doing an interest group, maybe you're interested in gardening or music or art, something like that, you can contact us, let us know. Maybe you can become involved in the community and do your own interest group. If you have class ideas, you can send them there. If you know of an organization that could really use our services, maybe a senior living situation, or even the government, even your state, you can go ahead and let us know, and our people will go and contact them. So I think that's at the end of our class today. I want to thank everyone for coming. I hope this was helpful for you today.
It was great.
Donna,
Thank you.
this was great.
Great. I'm glad you liked it.
Perfect.
I know the medical information, some of you, it's a little confusing at first, but that's why we have to spend so much time on it, just to let people get comfortable with it. And again, you're going to have a lot of information in the email. Go ahead and take a look. If you have Samsung people, there's links to a few articles about that, setting up the emergency contact thing. So you can take a look at those and see if you can figure it out. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys next time. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
You're
Thank